Hey guys, hope your Memorial Day was great. I had a great day with my family. Me and my wife went around the Lafayette Reservoir, did a little walk around there. It's like the perfect amount of time. It's like 48-minute walk, just like in and out. And then we went to my parents' house and a little pool party with the kids, and it was a good time. So I hope you had a great Memorial Day. I hope it was awesome, restful, chill, like whatever. Just hope it was great. Seriously, I really do. So we're in a summer series called on the Psalms of Ascent, Psalms 120 to 134. These are the psalms that the psalmists, or the Israelites would sing as they made their way up to Jerusalem. And today we're looking at Psalm 121. So let me read it, and then we'll just get right into it. I lift my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and your going, both now and forevermore. Let me open with a story, and then we'll get right into it. So Saturday, I'm playing around to golf with some friends, and morning round early, so I didn't have any breakfast, and it was going to end like right around lunchtime. And so I just decided, I'll be fine. I'm not going to eat anything. It's going to be okay. By the 18th hole, I feel pretty good, but then something starts happening in my body where I start to feel really weak. So then halfway through the 18th hole, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm literally not going to make it to the end of this hole. So I end up literally green side on the 18th hole. I'm laying down, feeling terrible, shaking, hypoglycemic, I don't know, lack of water, needed some protein. I got so many different people telling me what I needed to do. I'm not sure what happened. All I know is I felt bad. And I felt so bad that I needed somebody to help me up. Literally, I needed my friend Jack to have my arm over his shoulder and have him walk me back to the clubhouse. I felt like I was 14 again, or a little kid where I was just help me, And I was just thinking it's embarrassing asking for help, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to ask for help when you are a man. You know what I mean? I don't know how else to describe it. It's I am a grown man, strong, healthy. I got no clear physical problem. I'm okay. And I needed to ask for help from my buddy to help me walk because I didn't have breakfast or something. I'm it's embarrassing. And I was just thinking about how every single one of us has something that we need help with. We all do. If you think about it, it's I need help financially. People are like that. I need help financially. You need help. You got debt up to your ears and you don't want to admit it. Or you need help because your marriage is struggling. Or you need help because you have anxiety or depression, and it's it's awkward. It's embarrassing to bring it up to somebody. Everyone needs help somewhere. You need help raising kids. You need help with your marriage. You need help, whatever it is. And to be honest, if we're honest with ourselves, it can be kind of embarrassing to ask for help. And I love the psalmist here. He just kind of gets to the point. I lift my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? When I need help, where does it come from? It's he says it, next line. My help comes from the Lord. That's the bottom line. My help comes from Jesus. My help comes from the Holy Spirit. My help comes from the Father. I just love that. It's so simple. It's so clear. It's so good. But as you dig deeper into this psalm, you actually see that this is actually richer than just I lift my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? It's God who created the mountains. It's no, that's not what he means. He doesn't mean that. He literally means this. The mountains, in the time that they would be writing this, that was the area, these mountains that kind of went up to Jerusalem. That's where the that's the area where the false gods would be worshipped. Baal, Asherah, Molech, all of these false gods, they would go up to the mountains. That's where they'd do it, like child sacrifice, whatever, orgies, cutting themselves, like whatever it was in their act of worship, like that's where it would take place, was on the mountains. So when the psalmist says, I lift my eyes to the mountains, so he's like, I lift my eyes to the mountains. But where does my help come from? It goes higher than the mountains. It's to the Lord. Because the mountains are where the false gods are, but the Lord is above them. So you see what he's saying here. Where does your help come from? Does it come from false gods? Now, like contextually, they worship these false gods because they would give them certain things. Money, resources, pleasure, whatever. In the same way, we do the same thing. It's like, I need help. And so I'm going to turn to my vices to help me, right? Like, my marriage is struggling. It's like, I just need to have another freaking drink to calm down. It's like, is that going to help you? Like, is it going to help you to drink more? Or is that going to hurt? Like, are you turning to that for help? It's like, oh, I need help. Like, I'm going to just go buy another thing. It's like, is that helpful? I need help. I'm going to just turn to social media. Like, I need help. I'm going to go tinker with something in the garage. Like, I need help. I'm going to, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like most of the time I'm like, I need help. I'm going to just go outside and try and, like, zen out. It's like, no, I need to lift my eyes higher than the things that I place my trust in, my earthly hopes or my earthly gods or whatever that is. Like, it goes higher than that. It goes to the Lord. And like the other side of that is like, it shouldn't be embarrassing to go to the Lord. And I'll tell you why. Why it's not embarrassing to go to the Lord. Because of what the psalmist says at the end. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. That means two things. One, God watches over you all of the time. God watches over you all of the time. Constantly. The omnipresent, omnipotent God is watching over you. He's with you at all times, and he has power over all things. Like, that's the God that you serve. And secondly, he cares about the little things. The sun will not harm you by day. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. He covers the sun and the moon in the night and in the daytime. The Lord will keep you from all harm. Not some harm, not major harm, all harm. So it's like, you have a God. This is amazing. Like, seriously, this is so amazing. You have a God who knows you and cares about the little things. And he wants to be your help. Isn't that just so good? That's it. Like, that's the message. And so the question is, where do you need help? Go to him. Where do you need help? Go to him. That's it. Where do you need help? Go to him. Don't look at the false gods. Money, sex, alcohol, social media, weed, like whatever it is, the vice. Don't look to that for help. Like, lift your eyes up. And then the inverse, on the same note, it's like this, like, just like how I was latched on to my friend Jack. I need help. Like, latch on to Jesus. That's it. Like, you latch onto him. You say, I cannot walk to that place without your help. I cannot move to that area without your help. I cannot get that job without being latched onto you. I cannot have that conversation with my wife without being prayed up. I cannot coach my kids' soccer team without being locked in with you. Like, I need help, and it comes from you. And so here's a couple practicals for you. Super easy. Unceasing prayer. The Bible talks about this in many different points in the scriptures. But Paul would say, pray without ceasing. Pray without ceasing. And really what he means is this: have a constant line of communication with God. When you're sitting there in your own thoughts, turn those thoughts into prayers. That's what he's basically saying. You're thinking about how are you going to navigate that conversation at work, or how are you going to navigate that conversation with your family, or, you know, how is that going to look like in this setting, or how is that going to look like with your different portfolios? Like, okay, those are great that you can think about all those things, but you might as well just turn those things into prayers and have divine counsel and process with God and see if he reveals scriptures in your head, or a nudge or a prompting or a push. Like, that's getting help from God. It's unceasing prayer. And the second thing is, like, pour into community. Pour into community. Like, more often than not, God reveals himself in other people. That's it. Like, he goes, like, when you're like, man, I just want to see the face of God, it's like, well, look to your left and to your right in your small group, because there it is. The face of God is the community of believers in many, many ways. So look to other people. Unceasing prayer and community. That's how you get your help. All right. I love you guys, and I will see you soon. See ya.